And his bill is a little bit different. It enhances some of the areas of Boucher Stearns. He proposes to levy fines up to $5 million on businesses and individuals unless they abide by regulations administered by the FTC. There is an exemption for small businesses, but any entity that holds 15,000 or more names, email addresses, or other personal information in their records would be subjected to this proposed law. The bill also has broader definitions for some privacy components, such as the definition of sensitive data. Finally, also on the Hill this afternoon, this is fortuitous, this afternoon the Senate Commerce Committee is holding a hearing on online privacy, and the witnesses are going to include the chairman of both the FCC and the FTC. So that should be interesting. So while there's an important privacy focus on the Hill, there's also a good deal happening in the federal agencies. We've heard about what's happening at the FTC. I want to tell you a little bit about what's happening at the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. Congress, over a year ago, Congress told the FCC to develop a plan for getting everyone in the United States online on high-speed internet access, and this is the National Broadband Plan. It's hard to avoid information about this National Broadband Plan since its release in March. There has been quite a bit written about the plan. So there's this plan that has been released. It focuses on building infrastructure, on access, and on adoption to broadband services. About 65% of adults are currently have broadband at home. But if you look at the statistics among minority groups, older individuals, low income, the figures drop considerably. 35%, for example, of individuals 65 and older have broadband in their home. So we know we have a challenge to get everyone online in the United States, or at least get it up to where telephone penetration is today, which is about 95%. So 65% to 95%. But if we look at underserved, vulnerable populations, we really have a long way to go. The plan also includes privacy protection recommendations, and if you do want to go online to fcc.gov, the website, get to the National Broadband Plan, look at Chapter 4. It talks all about online privacy and online safety. Well, the FCC is also considering regulatory changes in light of a recent court decision. You may have heard a little bit about that in the news as well, the Comcast court decision. And the FCC is considering the level of regulation needed for broadband and how best to protect broadband consumers. Now, there's been a bit of a debate. This is Washington. There's always a debate. Congress, a majority of members of Congress, have told the FCC that they want to address this issue. The issue of broadband regulation is we haven't really looked at the comprehensive view since the 1996 Telecommunications Act. And at that time, I don't think the word Internet was even really incorporated into the Act. We're talking about 14 years ago. So it's probably the right time to take a look at these issues. And a large number of minority organizations have also called for this approach. A majority of minority organizations, specialty organizations, unions, etc., have sent letters to the Hill and to the FCC. For example, I want to just highlight a couple here. There was one letter that the NAACP signed onto, and in that letter they said, we urge you, and this is Congress, we urge you to proceed quickly with targeted legislation that firmly grounds FCC jurisdiction to protect an open Internet and to promote universal affordable broadband. We can't afford inaction, which will slow the closing of the digital divide by shifting costs to the poor and discouraging deployment to low-income and other disadvantaged Americans. And in a letter that was signed by many other minority organizations, including the Labor Council for Latin American Advancement, they said, "We're concerned that Commission's proposed regulations could be a distraction from efforts to implement the National Broadband Plan." So we have a National Broadband Plan chock full of ideas and proposals for getting our populations online, particularly focusing on getting underserved communities online, and we need to figure out the best way to get that done. So in conclusion, let me just say that online privacy is an important issue for consumers. It's an important element of the National Broadband Plan. Privacy impacts broadband adoption as well as broadband retention. So if you're not online and you are scared about what's going to happen to your information online, it could be just one more barrier to adopting broadband in your home. And if you are online and you're concerned about issues like data collection, identity theft, generally online safety, it could either discourage you from going online as often as you potentially could, or perhaps even to not stay online. So we certainly need to address these issues as part of our plan to get everyone online. We need to focus on education and awareness, and we also need to incorporate online privacy and safety education into any digital literacy efforts. So the National Broadband Plan has a plan for telling individuals how to go online and help them understand, become more literate online. And we need to make sure that we integrate the issue of online privacy into those education efforts, those literacy programs. Industry tools help consumers with getting information. We need to make sure that consumers have a choice about how that information is used and control. And finally, we need to tread carefully before implementing any additional regulations on broadband technology and services on going online. The question should be addressed by Congress. It's been a while, and it's the appropriate time for them to take a look at these questions. So thank you very much.
Are we on? Thank you. Thank you so much.